Hello, thank you for joining me today. I am going to go over the basics of using ESHATrak, our online nutrition and fitness tracking web app. Now, when you first log in, this is the screen you will see. If this is your first time using the program, you will want to create a profile before doing anything else. So let's do that. Click the profile link. Enter your name. This can be your full name or a preferred username, whatever you're most comfortable with. And then enter or select your birth date here and choose gender. This should reflect your current body composition, hormones, and metabolism as closely as possible. Also indicate if you are pregnant or nursing. Enter your height and weight. You can use inches or centimeters. Leave weight gain and loss at 0 if you do not wish to gain or lose weight, but if you do, use the weight calculator to help you. And select your activity level. Click here for an explanation of what each option means. I will select low active. Then when I'm finished, I select save. Now I will start entering my foods for the day. So click intake. Search for a food you ate by entering one or more search terms. I had some honey nut O's, so I'm going to type in cereal honey. Click find, and you will get this list of search returns. Find the one that's closest to your match, and notice that the brand and supplier information is in parentheses here. Click add, and this will add it to your list of foods at a common serving amount. 1 cup in this case. That's about what I had, so I'll leave it. But I do want to make sure that it's added as a breakfast item, so I will select that here. And save. I like to save often. And then I will add my almond milk. In this case, I'm going to change it to 3/4 of a cup, and again, change the meal to breakfast. Click save, and then continue adding the rest of the items in the same manner. For this example, I entered items for 2 days. Now I'm going to enter my activities. So click activities, and again, search for what activity you completed. I walked about 2 miles per hour, so I'm going to search for and add that. I did it for about 90 minutes. And then once again, save. And when you finish entering your food intake and activities for the day, you will want to see the reports about them. Click reports. The initial focus will be on the recommendation report, and this is recommended intake based on what you entered in your profile. It's going to show you what you should take in for your basic components like calories and fats, how much of each vitamin you should have, how much of each mineral, and so forth. Then let's look at the activity summary. This shows what activities you completed, the calories burned, and if your caloric intake versus output was balanced. It's not in this example, as indicated by the slope here. This is the bar graph, and it shows quickly and graphically how close you are to meeting your intake goals. You can have it display the average of all of the days you have intake for, or select one or more individual days. Now let me show you what Show Report does here. It opens it up as a larger printable file. And you'll notice that there are some amounts in red. Those indicate where you have gone over a recommended upper level intake or are under a recommended intake by quite a bit. This is the calorie assessment report. It looks at calorie and approximate intake and shows you where your intake is in or out of range. It's a really quick, easy overview of your calorie intake. Food list. Now this is just the foods that you entered in a printable report format. My plate. This compares your actual intake to the recommended My Plate goals. Single nutrient. This shows you the amount each food item is contributing of the nutrients selected here. Spreadsheet. This shows the entire nutrient breakdown of all nutrients for each food you entered. Now back up to the combination report. This is all of the available reports compiled into one document, just to make it printout easier, to make viewing it easier. That's all the combination report is. It doesn't really add anything new. It's just all of the reports together. And that's the basics for using this program. It's pretty easy. Now, I just want to show you a couple more things. Anything that you can't find in the database, you can add either as a recipe or as an ingredient. A recipe will be made up of ingredients you add or that are in the database. But an ingredient will be where you add a unique item that has its own nutrient data. So let's do that first. Click Database and then add an ingredient. Type a name in the name box. I'm calling this one sample ingredient. And then enter the nutrient weight in grams, probably 100 grams if you're having the information from a spec sheet, or whatever the gram weight is if you're getting your data from a nutrition facts panel. Enter also a serving size, and then enter as many or as few nutrients as you have. It's certainly more helpful to enter as much as possible, but it's not necessary. You can either enter the value by typing in the numeric value or the %dV. Click Save, and then you will, if we go back over here, you will be able to add this to your intake or to a recipe, which I'm going to show you how to do next. Go back to Database and click New Recipe, and I will call this one Sample Recipe, and enter a serving size. You can also add preparation or other notes here. Click Save, and then we search for and enter ingredients like we did with the intake. So this recipe uses my sample ingredients, so I'm going to add that, and peas, so I'm going to add that. When you finish adding your ingredients, click Save, and you will be able to use this recipe in your intake by searching for it and adding it like you would any other. Again, you do this by entering search terms, clicking Find, and then selecting what you want from the list. Clicking Add, and then let's scroll down here to see it. There it is, and that concludes this tutorial. Thank you.